Hold on, guys. Please hold.
This is the Experienced Pros Radio Show with business revolutionaries Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Experienced Pros Radio Show with Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. Very nice to have you along with us today. We're here to remind you that small business is big business, and your business is our business, and we're excited to have somebody in the studio with us today.
We have a co-host today, what is becoming one of my dearest friends in the entire business world, Mr. Rey Perez. He is your global branding expert. Ray, I'm so excited to have you co-hosting with us today.
I'm very excited to be here, and I'm excited that Denver's nice and warm when I get here.
Right, not like the last time you were here when it was all kind of sliding away.
Yeah, quick little thing for the audience. Last time I was here, I was on the show. I was following them to the studio. I rent a car. I've never driven in snow because I'm from Miami, and sure behold,
and we can leave it right there, brother.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, had an adventure.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun having you. And Ray is from Miami, but Ray, give our audience just a little background of how you came to be this global branding expert.
Yeah, I live in Miami now, but I'm originally from Los Angeles, and when I was in college, I started in the nightclub business. So I got into marketing and promotions and learning how to move people from one place to the next. And once I got out of the nightclub business, I got into marketing, and I realized the same tactics used to get people to an event in a nightclub is the same to get them to a business seminar, a trade show, a workshop, which obviously on social media, you see these things happening all the time.
You're going to have a bouncer and a red carpet and pretty girls, right?
And I still use the same thing. It still works every time.
Nice.
We were at a business expo in Miami, which is Ray Stomping Grounds, and you brought in the red carpet, the stanchions, it was almost like a nightclub event going on.
Very VIP, of course.
Absolutely. Okay, so Ray is an expert at helping personalities. And how do you describe that? Because you've got a really great way of describing the kind of people that you help, the industry you help.
I specialize in working with personality-driven businesses. What does that mean? That means I build a brand around the individual. And I ask 3 questions to qualify a personal brand. 1, who does the majority of the sales in your business? Number 2, who works with the customer or the client? And number 3, who's the face of the business? If you've answered you're a personality-driven business.
Awesome. Well, so let's talk today about some expert branding. What is it that you see is pretty typical in the marketplace when it comes to branding?
Well, what most people, and let's be clear about what we're talking about. We're talking about small business owners and entrepreneurs, right? If you're a C-level professional, this is not a conversation.
You have a department for that.
Exactly, correct. So, but for most small business owners and entrepreneurs, we spend time and money invested in marketing our company as if that's the thing that's making the majority of the sales. Mm-hmm. But when you really look down at the majority of small business owners, the owner, the main person is the one that does the majority of the sales.
Right.
So I was in the same boat, and I just started realizing, man, I have this amazing website, I have this great logo, I have this amazing branding for my business, but I'm the one who makes all the sales. I'm the one that makes all the relationships. I'm the one that works with the customers. So little by little, I started shifting from marketing my business to marketing myself. And the more I did that, the more I realized more people were connecting with me and I was making more sales.
So that took your brand to the expert level.
Well, what I did was I basically told myself, if I had a $100,000 client that asked me, I want you to create an entire brand and marketing campaign for me to get more business, what would you do? So I became my first $100,000 client.
Awesome. Okay, so if for all of our listeners who want to be their next $100,000 client, what are some things that you recommend? One, they're talking about everything's about their corporate, everything's about their business. Where do we start to make that shift, or how do we make that shift?
Well, first, it's important that you have to understand the value of who you are, and this is not just my opinion. This is you have to realize that people buy from you not just because of your product or service, because everybody's got competition. And for the most part, everybody's competition has pretty much the same product or service. Apples or oranges, Honda, Toyota, Sprint, AT&T.
Right.
It's not that big of a difference. So you have to realize that the reason people buy is because of you. So the more that you can get yourself out there to be, number one, trustworthy, number two, credible, and number three, an expert in your space, more people are going to want to do business with you opposed to your competition. So what my team and I specialize in doing is helping our clients build that connection, those relationships with people faster. So when they go look at their competition, there's no question of who they want to do business with.
Right.
What's the biggest thing that you see when they, make that transition? What's the biggest difference that has been made?
Their positioning in the market, the way that people perceive you when they see, because life in business is all about perception, right? Perception is reality. And I love making this analogy. You drive up to an event, everybody's outside, you pull up in your car, you get out, you're driving a Honda. What's the impression you get? You pull up, that same event, everybody outside, you pull up in a Ferrari. Is there a difference in the impression?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a difference in the way that people will start communicating with you?
Okay, yeah, of course. But let me push back with this. How do you measure that?
How do you measure the results?
The perception.
Well, I don't know. How do you measure the perception when you roll up in a Ferrari somewhere?
I don't know.
Then we're going to have to get you in a Ferrari.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Because you know.
Because I know.
Right?
Because, I don't have a Ferrari, but I have a BMW i8.
Yes, you do.
And
gull wings and everything.
There is I got the butterfly wings on it.
So that's a new car for you. Mm-hmm. What did you have before?
Well, I still have a BMW X6, which is the sport utility car.
Right.
This was a 2-seater, so I can't really do much. But I still have the X6.
Oh, I think you can do more. More with less.
Yeah.
So I know you use the analogy, right? You see the Ferrari, you stop, you take a look, maybe take a selfie. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with it. And you walk this walk, right? Mm-hmm. I think, part of it is not only are you doing this for your clients, but you walk the walk. You're kind of your first beta tester, your own test market. Yep. So now that you've got this, this fancy car that you often use in an analogy, do people look at you different when you pull up?
100%. Yeah. And I got the car because I've been making this analogy for about 2 years, and I was like, well, it's time for me to step it up, right? I wasn't quite ready for the Ferrari yet, but I mean, the i8 is definitely.
The i8 is a real close runner-up.
And I'll tell you, I've gotten connections, I've gotten relationships just because of having the car.
Interesting.
And people will just see it on a picture and want to connect with me.
All right.
Right? Because, when we talk about branding, right, it's that promise, it's that expectation that people have of what it's going to be like to do business with you. Mm-hmm. And so if this is elevated, then is the perception that doing business with you is elevated?
Well, that you're going to provide a better quality service and that you're worth more. And that's how you're also able to charge more, which I've been able to do. And the majority of my clients, within a short amount of time after we put them through a branding program, their prices are going up because their perceived value goes up. Mm-hmm. And the reality is it's sad. There's some people with great talent, great products or service, but their marketing sucks.
Right.
And they are getting half the business with people that had half their talent or half the quality that they provide because they have better marketing.
And I think for so many small business owners, this is something that maybe they've heard before, or they've been to a seminar, or they've heard it, or they've read about it, or they've paid attention to it, but they haven't made the shift for themselves because they don't realize what it's costing. You're able to charge more. You're able to attract a higher caliber of client. And so we need to really establish in our heads that if we don't get this branding piece right, this could be an element of that statistic of why so many businesses fail. What do you think?
100%. And again, like you said earlier, I didn't create this to sell it. I created it to be more effective in my own business. Mm-hmm. Now, when I did that and I saw how effective, I tweaked, I changed a little bit, and it got to a point where some of my clients realized what I was doing and asked me if I could do it for them. And that's how I launched the business.
All right. So let's talk to those people who are saying, gosh, I wish you would do that for me. You can't go from 0 to I8 in that fast, mm-hmm. right?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe you can.
Depends what industry you're in.
But let's talk about how would what would you say to our listeners? We've got about a minute and a half left here in this segment. What would you say to the listeners about first steps that they can take in order to build that expert brand?
Well, what I would say is go to my website, rayperez360.com. Connect with me on any of my social medias, and I will send you my full presentation, an hour presentation that explains everything on how to build your personal brand. So go to rayperez360.com, send me a message, send me a text, get me on social media, and I'll send you that video that'll do exactly that.
And Rey Perez is spelled ReyPerez360.com. Yes?
Correct, but I own both domains, so it's fine.
Look at you. See. All right. I really appreciate the help that you've brought to us talking about building an expert brand. And I think what we're going to do is, as we get ready to wind up this segment, Rey, I'd like to invite you back here in the next segment to kind of talk about some other things that will help build a more well-rounded business. If that's
absolutely
is that
my
cool
pleasure.
with you?
Yep.
Awesome. And folks, you are listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show. This is home of positive business talk. You can find it right here on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Experience Pros. Again, facebook.com/Experience Pros. And again, as Rey said, go check out ReyPerez360.com. That's ReyPerez360.com in order to build an expert brand.